Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Jacinta. If this is the first time here, thank you for stopping by. In this video, I'm going to be sharing with you guys how to cut and sew this Ankara underbust gathered dress with shoulder drawstring. If it's what you love to learn, kindly watch till the end. And if you're ready to subscribe, please turn that subscribe button below and also turn on your notification bell to get notified whenever I upload a new video. So without wasting much time, let's jump right into this tutorial. This is the fabric I'll be using. It's an Ankara fabric and I'm making use of 5 yards. Starting off with the pattern drafting, from the tip of my pattern, I will mark 1 inch downwards and square across, and I will label that my shoulder line. Placing my tape on the shoulder line, I will mark 11 inches downwards for my bust line, 14.5 inches for my under bust, and 17 inches for my half length. I'll square across these lines and label them. Placing my tape on the half length, I will mark 2 inches downwards and square across. This 2 inches line is going to be the full length of the upper part where the basque waistline will start from. So the basque waistline can actually start from anywhere you wish. You can start exactly at the half length, that's the waistline, or you can come downwards by 4 to 5 inches. It depends on where you want your basque to be. So go ahead and put your desired length and square across. Back to the shoulder line, I'm going to mark half of my shoulder measurement, which is 8 inches. Placing my tape on that 8 inches, I'm going to mark my sleeve length. Of course, this is a cut together sleeve, so I'm going to mark 13 inches. This 13 inches includes the 1 inch for folding. Still on the shoulder line, I'm going to mark 3 inches inwards for my neck width, and on the sleeve length, I will come downwards by 1 inch for the slope, for the shoulder slope, and connect it to the 3 inches neck width. I'm just going to extend the vertical lines. Now I'm going to mark my front neck depth. So placing my tape on the shoulder line, I'm going to mark 9.5 inches downwards. Then I'll connect it to the neck width. The neck depth also depends on what you want. If you want it higher, you can mark 8 inches. But if you want your bust to show, you're going to mark at the bust line or below the bust line. So go ahead and input your desired neck depth. I will also mark the back neck depth. I will using this pattern for the front and the back. Placing my tape on the shoulder line, I marked 7 inches downwards. This is also according to your preference. If you want yours deeper, you can go down. Just go ahead and do what you want. What I'm going to do now is to roll the dart line. Though that is optional for this kind of dress, but though I'm still going to close the dart. So I'm going to mark 4 inches inwards from the center front on the bust line, under bust, half length, and on the full length, and connect with a straight line. On the half length, I will mark ½ inch on both sides of the dart line and connect it upwards to the dart line on the bust line. I'm going to extend the ½ inch I mark on both sides to the full length, like so. Now I'm going to impute my horizontal measurements, and I'm starting this from the under bust. Reason is that the dress is fitted from the under bust. Okay, the dress is fitted from the under bust, so I'll be imputing part of my round body measurements from the under bust. I'll divide my under bust circumference by 4 and mark whatever it gave me at the under bust line. I'll also replace the dart intake I took at the under bust. I'm not sure if it's up to 1 inch. I will measure whatever the dart intake is and I'll replace it at the side. I will also add 1.5 inches for my sewing allowance. I will do exactly the same at the waistline. I'll mark what on my waist circumference, add 1.5 inches sewing allowance, and replace the 1 inch that I took. Whatever I have on the half length is what I'm going to impute on the full length, after which I will connect the marks. Sorry, the camera is not capturing the half length and the full length. Just go ahead and impute your measurements, add your sewing allowance, and replace the dart if you took that. Then go ahead and connect the marks. For the sleeve opening, I'll connect with a straight line from the 1 inch slope to the bust line. On the under bust line, I'm going to come in by 3 inches from the side. You can extend this straight line that ran from the 1 inch slope to the under bust. Then from there you can come in by 3 inches so that you know where you're coming in from by 3 inches. With a curved line, I'll connect from the end of the sleeve opening on the bust line to the 3 inches I came in by on the under bust line, like so. Now for the basque waistline at the center front, I'll mark 4 inches downwards from the full length. At the side front, I'll come in by 1.5 inches, which is the sewing allowance I added on the full length, and I'm going to connect it to the 4 inches basque waistline, after which I'll go ahead and cut it out. Please watch carefully and see how I did the cutting. I'm going to cut it open at the under bust, and for the neckline I'm going to cut only the back neck depth. I'm also going to cut open the dart and close it with my masking tape. Now I'm going to be cutting this pattern on my fabric. To do this, I'll fold my fabric into two and place the pattern on it. I'll be cutting the back part of this, so I'm going to add 1 inch on the center back from the back neck depth to the under bust. I'll add ½ inch on the neckline for turning, and on the shoulder I'll add 1 inch for my drawstring. Then on the under bust I'll add ½ inch for joining. After marking this allowance, I'll go ahead and cut it out. I'm going to cut out the back neckline so that I can have the front neckline. I'll fold my fabric into two and place the pattern on it for the front piece. I'm going to add all the allowances I added on the back. The only allowance I'm not adding is the 1 inch at the center for zip allowance. So this is the front, it does not have zip allowance. So I will not be adding the 1 inch. Every other allowance I added at the back, I'm going to add it at this front. I'll also cut open the center front, so the center front will not be closed. I'll also cut the side front on fold, and I'm not going to be cutting the center front open, so the center front is going to be closed. I'll add ½ inch only on the upper part and on the lower part. Then for the back, I'm going to add 1 inch at the center back for the zip allowance. Now for the down part, it's going to be a long piece of fabric that will fold at the hem and gather at the top. So I'm going ahead to minus the length of the upper part from my gown length, that is for my full gown length, and I'm marking the remaining measurements I have here. So I'm just going to mark it all through. Length, I think what I have is 40 inches. So I'm marking that 40 inches. Go ahead and minus yours. For the wideness, it does not have any specific measurement because this is going to be gathers. I'm making use of the remaining fabric I have. So after marking the length, I'm going to cut it out. I'll also cut the facing I will use to turn the neckline on the front and the back. So go ahead and cut your facing. If you're using a lining to turn, go ahead and cut your lining. After cutting the facing, I'll place it front facing front with the main fabric and sew from the shoulder down to the under bust using ½ inch. I will do exactly the same for the back. I was done joining the facing to the main fabric, as you can see, both the front and the back, and I've also notched the allowance, that is the half inch I used to join it, as you can see. So what I'm going to do now is to iron it to flatten it. After ironing it, I'm going to turn it to the wrong side, then use my hemming gum to hold it down. Please make sure you stitch yours to the under bust. Some parts of mine are still open, but I later did this behind the camera. And remember that whatever I'm doing to this front is what I'm also doing for the back. So I was done ironing. As you can see, the full center front is closed. What I'm going to do now is to join it to the under bust of this part of the front. I'm going to notch the center front of this closed part where I'll be joining the gathers. It's going to be in form of an overlap. So on that center, I'm going to mark half inch on both sides. I marked 1 inch initially, but I later changed it to half inch. I'm going to mark half inch on both sides of the notch I made. Like I said, it's going to be in form of overlap. So take one of the parts where I'm going to be doing the gathers and place it on the half inch that I marked. Then I'm going to take the other part and cross it over to the other half inch. So please look closely and see what I am doing. So you can see what I'm doing in the video, right? It's a form of overlap. So my pleating is going to start from the half inch I marked, and my other pleating is also going to start from the other half inch. So I'll go to my machine and stitch this down. This is the back. I'm also going to be joining the back piece. I will leave 1 inch for the zip, then from that 1 inch I'll start pleating. So I was done joining, and this is what it looks like. You can see the way it overlapped. What I'm going to do now is to turn it with my lining. Lining is totally optional. I just wanted it to have a clean finishing. If you're not adding lining, just go ahead and weave the gathered parts. I'll be using the fabric as the lining. I'll place it front facing front with the main fabric and sew it using half inch. I'll do the same for the back piece. This is the fabric I'll be using for the gathers. So I'm going to fold the down part and I'm going to gather the upper part. I was done turning, and this is what it looks like. What I'm going to do now is to join the shoulders using the 1 inch that we added. Before you join the shoulders, make sure to fold the sleeve length. Make sure you fold the sleeve length, because if you do not fold the sleeve length before joining the shoulders, you'll not be able to attach your drawstring. So fold the sleeve length separately before joining the shoulders. I was done gathering the skirt part. I'm going to join it to the upper part at the back waistline using half inch. I was done with that. What I'm going to do now is to fold the allowance on the shoulder like this and stitch it down. I will also join the sides, the two sides of this dress using the 1.5 inch allowance that we added. I'll also attach the zip on the 1 inch zip allowance. I've cut out this fabric I'll be using for the drawstring. It is 1 inch wide and 25 inches long. So I'll go over to my machine and fold it into two this way. Lastly, what I'm going to do is to insert the drawstring. I'll be doing that with my safety pin. I'll put one end of the drawstring in my safety pin and insert it from the full sleeve length to the shoulder. At the shoulder, I am going to stitch it. And that will be all for the cutting and sewing of this dress. If you find this video helpful and you've learned something, please guys, like, share, drop your comments, subscribe, and do not forget to turn on your notification bell to get notified whenever I upload a new video. So please guys, you guys should hit on that subscribe button. It goes a long way to encourage me. And if you want me to drop tutorial on any style at all, let me know in the comment section. Thanks for watching, and see you guys in my next tutorial.